All right, from the hip. Do I think that Democrats, my beloved Labour Party of England, are on the level? Do I think they are bought or corrupt or silly or weak? I just think they're different people who are weak. It takes guts to be a citizen of a pampered colonial stolen land, stolen from another civilization, and to tell the truth about it. They don't pay the debt owed to the previous inhabitants and the people you enslaved to create the wealth you were too lazy to create yourself. You didn't. It is a tall order, not for the weak. That you have an opposing party, the Republicans that squeal, no, we didn't, or worse, it was God's will, is no bloody excuse, no excuse at all. I had a look at Deuteronomy yesterday, a sacred book of Moses. It is without doubt the playbook, the Bible of Western civilization, the toxic stew of monotheism, and I figured that King Claudius of Hamlet had it right. Quote, "Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I'm still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen." The richest nation on the face of the earth ever, the biggest military on the face of the earth ever. End quote. A line that Abraham Lincoln recognized and cringed therefore, and piously planned to free the slaves into the slavery of the U.S. economy rather than ship them elsewhere. Parentheses, a dominant habit of Europeans in those days, just find a land without people and send them there. Where does that leave the pious, righteous Democrat? You are still possessed of. Claudius was weak. The invention it took for Kamala, the latest weakling, to say, "Look at our beginning," was stunning from a black woman. And I wonder what she was looking at. Hamilton, the fucking musical? Democrats loved that one. The founding of the slave nation, the dispossession of peoples, like God promised his people, take the land from the Hashemite, I give it to you, as clearly as he encouraged Columbus. If you can't admit your arrogance, if you can't acknowledge it, it is you doesn't want to pay the reparations. The white right conveniently standing in to blame, can't confess the greed and laziness, then creating a God to justify it, to become the Mount Sinai of weakness. More coal and oil were extracted in the US during Biden's time than Trump's. The minimum wage was dropped. Healthcare is still in the hands of profiteers. Income inequality is at levels that would make Croesus blush. Democrats love war. What is that? They are weakly seeking Satan. Proxy wars. Biden is a Deuteronomist. Horrible and weak. As the culture is colonial, it is patriarchal too. On my read, choice, the woman's right to choose, is a right covered by the Declaration of Independence. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but of course rescinded by the Constitution. And you never argue that. That's weak. Argue that. And two Democrats could have and refused to codify it. Demand why they didn't. Weak. We can't afford rich people anymore, obscenely rich, whether they are Republicans or Democrats. It takes courage to see this and address it, but no, weakness prevails. I have hoped the Democrats would do something on this all my life, but no, they are as weak as colonialists are bound to be. The lipstick is just pinker. If Israel is an ancestral homeland that they have the right to defend, oh, Democrat bombers, when are you going home? I know the story. We can't all be Che Guevara. Most of us don't want to be Che Guevara. Fair enough. Then don't keep advertising your enemy as Batista or as Hitler or as Lucifer in Spanx. Because then you'll have to be Che, and you ain't. To be honest about borders is to say we are keeping people off land both sides we stole in the first place from their ancestors. There are accommodations possible, but you'd need to be brave and strong. Of course, you think Islam wants to take over. You took over, tolerating no variation. And I got to think that with no value in and so no pursuit of the self, not the selfish, we're very good at that, the self as at least a laudable accomplishment, and imagining a collective identity is a thing one must work at instead of assuming. Where identity becomes a tally of characteristics of what I am not. And this serves as identity, e.g., I'm not a man, so I must be a woman, instead of the 100 other whats that you might be. Would this gruel offer life, this pallid intellectual cul-de-sac? Is it much wonder we huddle about our hatreds, cluster around them like fires, and accuse the rest of hating against us? A variant of the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our hatreds and those who hate against us. Be strong.